This is Marley Carey. Hope y'all are well. This is going to be a follow up video to the video that I did from JWTV earlier about the meeting in Switzerland and the um, two viruses that were discussed. One that begins with an M, the other one begins with an E, and the modifications to the Preparedness Act that have been modified. Well, I had an opportunity to go through the Federal Register and read the notice, and there are some things that um, are alarming, but I want to talk about them early because these things, I got to talk in code, so y'all got to bear with me. I got to think this out. There are some things have not happened yet, but things could potentially happen the same way the last thing happened in 2020 with the BAPs. If you don't know what BAPs are, use your imagination. Um, so, with this declaration, there were some things that stood out to me, and I want to share them with you and share why I am concerned. Okay, so this first let me go down here to the bottom so we can get this clear. Anytime you see I in this document, if I say I, it is because the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, Xavier Becerra, is the one who put this notice out. He's the one that made the amendments to this act that did not require any congressional input or vote or anything. So this is like again one of the little slick things that the government does when they want to do something. But let me go back up here to the top. So this is the notice of declaration under the under the Public Readiness and Emergency Preparedness Act for countermeasures against these viruses. And I'm not going to say them because I don't have no time to be dealing with these algorithms. Um, if you want to see this in its entirety, you will have to go to Rumble. I'm sure I'm not going to be able to talk about this completely because of what I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to say. Well, screw it. If they take it down, it'll be over there anyway. I'm tired of doing all this extra stuff. These crazy people. So, anyway, let me go down to this because this is the thing. If I can find it. Okay, here it is. Listen to this. So, the Secretary of the Health and Human Services says, I am amending the PrEP Act declaration for countermeasures against these viruses to cover countermeasures previously covered under the declaration for the E virus and the E virus disease therapeutics. And in the other video, I told you the difference between therapeutics and the V words, the BAPs that they say are BAPs, but they're VBAPs, but they're really the T BAPs. This word right here, that word right there. All right, just trying to make this a little smaller so I can get this. Okay. So it says, due to the similarities of the viruses and the need to expand covered countermeasures against the E disease to include all BAPs diagnostics and devices in addition to previously covered V's and T's, and to cover these countermeasures when administered or used by an authority having jurisdiction to respond to a declared emergency. And so this is what I've been talking about for a little while. That something in any type of emergency can be declared, and these things can be implemented and distributed. It says, in addition to previously covered activities directly supported by the United States, all previously covered countermeasures for the E virus and distribution activities continue to be covered. This action has the effect of combining the three previous declarations into one amended declaration and makes PrEP Act coverage for E virus countermeasures consistent with PrEP Act coverage provided for other health threats, including these things here that I'm not finna say because then I'll be in trouble, but they are highlighted there. Um, and so it also says emerging infectious diseases as well. This amended declaration for countermeasures against the E virus, E disease, and M virus or M disease supersedes the other act declaration for these two things, uh, and for the disease therapeutics. The declarations for E virus, disease V's, and E virus disease T's will expire under their own terms on December 31st, 2023, and this amended declaration becomes effective January 1st, 2024, effectively replacing the three prior declarations, which I find very interesting since the W and the E and the F will be meeting next week to discuss how they're going to rebuild trust, and they're talking about the next thing that's coming out. They're doing tabletop exercises. So, and this came out around Thanksgiving again, a little around the time of Thanksgiving when people were not paying attention. And so, thanks to JWTV, we know about this now. But this is the part that I want you to pay attention to, and what lets you know that we are no longer a sovereign nation. We are a global um, infrastructure now. Everybody's working together to say the same thing, sound the same way. They're using the same playbooks, and they're going to be doing their thing. We need to know about it. So it says to be consistent with the most current W, um, the organization that makes the owl sound. That's what I'll say. International classification of the diseases. The term E disease is used in this declaration. So basically, whatever America had and what America was doing prior to this global health treaty that they are coming up with through the organization that makes the owl sound. We had our own acronyms, we had our own definitions, we had our own stuff because it was just meant for us. Now we have this global definition. We're using the definitions of what this organization that makes the owl sound classifies these diseases as, and it's in our health declaration, our Preparedness Act declaration against these specific things that have not come out yet, but apparently they must be coming because they're preparing for them. So it says specifically, I am amending the PrEP Act declaration against the M virus and the M disease countermeasures to amend the title of the declaration that it covers the E virus and the M virus. Update section 1 to identify the public health threat as rising from the E virus and the M virus. So there's a rising threat, y'all, but nobody didn't tell us. Update section, whatever this is, to amend the definition of the cover countermeasures to cover all the things that we talked about earlier that we can't talk about. and it goes into effect, and it says through December 2028, and republish the declaration in its entirety as amended. So there was something else. I am amending Section 1 of the Declaration to update the determination of public health emergency to state that the spread of E virus and M virus and any resulting diseases or conditions, including these acronyms that the organization that makes the owl sound, used to define or classify these diseases and viruses, and any virus or disease subcategories of these presents presents a credible risk of future public health emergency. So they already know that this shit is coming. Excuse my French, but I'm just tired of just I'm just tired. Like it's just we constantly are having to battle stuff, and I just don't understand why. Well, I understand why, but it's just like how you know this stuff coming? How you know it's a threat? It ain't nowhere. Nobody's talking about this. So you got to know that it's coming. Continued coverage under the PrEP Act, as provided in this declaration, is intended to prepare for and mitigate that credible risk. So you already know what's coming. So that's why I was telling y'all earlier. Do your research, gather yourselves, do your research, and gather the things that you will need in the event that you come in contact with any of these things. Because what you're not gonna want is what they got for you. And I'm gonna show you why. So, let me go to where here it is, right here. Liability immunity. Now y'all remember what they did with the Rona and the BAPS? Nobody can be charged for any crimes against humanity. Nothing, because everybody has blanket immunity. So here we go again. This is how you know you should be running. When everybody running to, you should be running from. I don't care what happens. If that means you got the croak, you should probably just go on. So is you gonna get it by the bio weapon, or you gonna get it from the solution? But you're gonna get it. So the best thing you could try to do is avoid it. But these people already have blanket immunity for whatever they give us. So it says liability immunity as prescribed in the PrEP Act and conditions stated in this declaration is in effect for the recommended activities described in Section 3. Covered persons. Listen to this. Covered persons who are afforded liability immunity. That means they are not going to be found uh, guilty of anything should anything go wrong with the stuff that they give you or use on you to save you from this. So take that. Just remember what happened over the last 3 years. Remember how you can't talk about nothing. Remember how we can't ask questions. Remember how whatever happens to you, they're going to act like nothing happened to you and that you are stupid, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, you're not a medical professional. And your medical professional is going to push this stuff to you because they scared. So just understand what's coming because we already saw it. They don't do nothing. There's nothing new under the sun. They're going to use the same playbook. They're going to run the same plays. Understand what's coming. So it says covered persons who are afforded liability immunity under this declaration are manufacturers. That means pharmacia, pharmaceutical companies, distributors, anybody who distributes this stuff to your doctor's office, to the pharmacy, to the drugstore, who giving out these things on every corner, everywhere, hospitals, program planners. That means the people in your community who are responsible for emergency preparedness and people who are making these commercials and telling you need to go out and get whatever they're offering. Qualified persons, and their officials, agents, and employees. as those persons are defined in the PrEP Act and the United States. In addition, I have determined, so that means, let me go back. So that means your doctors, your nurses, anybody that is covered under qualified persons, the definition of qualified persons, which I will have to go and look up the definition of qualified persons for the PrEP Act, because I'm sure they have a definition in here for it. But listen, it says, in addition, I have determined that the following additional persons are qualified persons. Listen, any person authorized in accordance with the public health and medical emergency response of the authority having jurisdiction as described in section whatever below to prescribe, administer, deliver, distribute, or dispense the covered countermeasures. So they call it countermeasures, but it's going to be solutions. And their officials, agents, employees, contractors, and volunteers. And I mean, anybody who volunteer, that could be church folks. Your church folks could, have a thing and tell you to come get this stuff because it's gonna be dangerous for you. Take this, like they did the first time. We wasn't even sick, but everybody was running out getting this stuff, and the churches, the black churches, was the main ones. They're gonna run the same playbook. They're gonna put this stuff out here. They're gonna have Negroes standing up in church telling you, "Come get this. It's gonna save you. You want to have Thanksgiving dinner with grandma? You want to have Christmas, grandma? Don't you want to go to the restaurants?" The same. They're gonna run the same playbook, y'all. And guess what? When they give you your baps and you get sick or you have illness or you pass away or grandma pass away because she's in a nursing home and they're going to be required to have it, ain't nothing you're going to be able to do about it because there's liability immunity. The nursing home is going to be protected. The person that administered the shot, they're going to be protected. Everybody's covered. Um, any person authorized to prescribe, which means your doctor or your nurse practitioner, whoever, administer or dispense the covered countermeasures, and the covered countermeasures is anything that the government says is a countermeasure, or who is otherwise authorized to perform an activity under an emergency use authorization in accordance with Section 564 of the FD&C Act. And I don't know what that is, but I'm just reading it because it's here. And any person authorized to prescribe, administer, and dispense covered countermeasures in accordance with Section 564A of the FD&C Act. So this is what I wanted to share with you. And they have the covered countermeasures here. So I don't want to read no more because I'm already in enough trouble. I'm just saying I'm in trouble because I'm always finding stuff. But read this in its entirety so that you will understand how business is being handled now. Y'all, they handling us rough. We don't if you make the decision to take any solution, you're taking your life into your own hands. There is no recourse for you. You cannot sue. You cannot complain. You will not be able to question. You cannot place blame anywhere. You are going to be responsible for the decisions that you make. Therefore, you should be researching these diseases and viruses that are in this act because those are things that are likely going to have solutions that they're going to be trying to promote to everybody. And then you should make your decisions accordingly. Do your research. Do your research. Read this notice in its entirety. I recommend you read it a couple of times, and then I recommend you read whatever you don't understand. You need to go back and read it again. Find the definitions, because one thing about the government, they have definitions for everything. Even if you think you don't understand something, um, here in the footnotes, they have the PrEP Act, and I'm going to see if it'll take me there if I click on it. Yes. Okay. So it looks like they have a whole lot of stuff here on this act. Um, Other current prep declarations. Um, it's very interesting, all the things that they have here. Again, I strongly recommend that you visit this site. Look at the definitions. It's very straightforward, and you don't have to guess anything. It's very good. Oh, here it is, right here. Um, Terms. Distributor means a person or entity engaged in the distribution of drugs, biologics, devices, including but not limited to manufacturers, repackagers, common carriers, contract carriers, air carriers. Oh my God. On label distributors. So that this is interesting. Air carrier. So that means if you flying, if this stuff is flying in the airplane and something happens with the temperature and somebody uh, lies about some information and then this is forwarded, this stuff say it's supposed to be kept at a certain temperature and it's not during transport, gets to where it's going to be dispensed, prescribed or dispensed, and then it's given and then you get sick and you don't know, there's no liability, there's no, they have immunity. There is immunity, honey. Everybody has immunity. All these people. Program planner means a state or local government, including an Indian or tribe, a person employed by a state or local government, or other person such as a private sector employer or community group, church, who supervises or administers a program with respect to the administration, dispensing, distribution, provision, or use of a countermeasure. Even a radio station could be a program planner. This includes persons who establish requirements or provide policy guidance, or who supply technical or scientific advice or assistance, or who provide a facility to administer or use a covered countermeasure in accordance with the declaration. Jesus, freeze us. A qualified person, this is one I was questioning. Qualified person, a licensed health professional or other individual who is authorized to prescribe, administer, or dispense covered countermeasures under the law of the state in which the countermeasure was prescribed, administered, or dispensed, or a person within a category identified as qualified in a declaration, such as volunteers. So you could be a volunteer doctor, like a traveling doctor, traveling nurse, but anyway, healthcare professionals. Anybody who's covered, who works in healthcare, is considered a qualified person. Could be a nurse practitioner, could be a CNA, whoever's doing whatever to your body, and they have permission to work in that space, whether it's volunteer or it's as an employee or contractor. That's a qualified person. All right. Well, got all the answers that I needed. I told you I was gonna find it, y'all. I'll be finding stuff for you. So I want my people to be in the know. So again, I am going to put this information in the description. I might put it in the comments because they be tearing me up with the descriptions. Then they want to put all these disclaimers under my video. But read this notice because it is very important. Our people are not um are not aware of what's coming. And I cannot stress that enough. They're gonna run the same playbook that they ran the last time. This is just proof of it. So I just want y'all to, be aware. We've been talking about taking care of your body, growing your own food, having medicinal gardens, living and practicing holistic methods to heal yourself, and even looking at these things that are threats to us. Um, for everything they have something for. our Creator made something for it too. So if you start studying and you do your research now, you can have those things when stuff start flying around. These cootie bugs they let loose on us, and you start seeing people get ill, and maybe people in your family. You have what you need on your person to protect yourself. The one thing that you ain't gonna want is what they offering. You see, here it is 3 years later, folks just now talking about, excess deletions, um, all the baps they've encouraged people to get, and how people are feeling bad and not doing well. People developing all types of things that they never had before. Young people passing away because they are forced to participate in these remedies. I'm having a speaking cold. In these remedies in order to go to school, go to college, play sports, do whatever, traveling with the team on the bus. Same thing coming. So I just want you to know, if you follow me, if you watch me, understand that everything is already set up. All they got to do is unleash the cooties. Um, the best thing we can do is learn about the cooties that they naming, try to figure out how we're going to protect ourselves, try to warn people. And you're going to be a pariah like you were last time when you said you didn't want to do the thing that folks were encouraging you to do. Don't just stand your ground. We're going to have to stand our ground again. Um, you're going to have to stand your ground, period. So with that said, I'm going to end the video here. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Please try to share this out to people that you know so that they will understand what's coming. Understand we are going to be targeted. We, as in Black African American people, because they need to get rid of us. We are the children that are loved and cherished and protected. We are the chosen people. We are special, set apart people, and they know who we are. The people who are in charge of all this stuff, they know who we are. That's why they had ads targeting us first. Come and get it. Go to church. You put your pastors on the radio, and they all still telling you to come get this stuff all over Black radio. Come and get it. Um, on television, come and get it. The worst thing you can do is listen to your evil communications now. We're going to have to become wiser. We are going to have to become a people of strong convictions. We are going to have to act like we know we are in the belly of the beast, and we are going to have to make some sacrifices. So if you know that your job going to be asking you to do A, B, C, D, go ahead and get your paperwork together. Or go ahead and try to figure out how you're going to get your money out of whatever and become self sufficient. We're going to have to play a new game, and it is going to be very difficult for a lot of people to understand what's happening. When they figure out what's happening, it's going to be too late, just like it was the last time. They did all this stuff the last time, and we didn't know anything about it. This time, we know better. And it's a lot of us watching. A lot of us are paying attention. A lot of us are talking about it. We're sharing information. We need to be ready. They're gonna lock us down again. Folks gonna lose jobs. Folks gonna lose uh, uh their minds because they can't. They think we're going back to normal. You're gonna have all this chaos going on. Have what you need in your house. Be able to make yourself content with less, doing nothing, staying at home, um, going against the grain. Be the gray person. Be the gray man. Be the gray woman. Um, Try not to stand out, but definitely stand your ground. Continue having strong convictions. Continue seeking wisdom and knowledge. Um, all the wisdom and knowledge does not have to be spiritual or religious. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm saying spiritual because I don't subscribe to any religion. I just subscribe to the words of the Creator, do what He told us to do. But there are some things that are here on earth that you need to be reading and understanding and getting knowledge and wisdom about, because those are the tools or the devices of the adversary. And so you need to understand what they are. And no need for you to run and hide from the adversary. He's on us like white on rice. So we need to know all of their devices so that we can survive. We're trying to endure to the end. So do not be afraid to endure to the end. This is a battle. You got to fight. Part of it is spiritual, and part of it is literally fighting. It don't necessarily mean fighting with a gun or fighting with any type of physical weapon. Sometimes it's just fighting with your brain, fighting with your mind, fighting with your spirit, just having the desire to live and fight it. Fight this these supernatural, wicked, evil, spiritual things that are just attacking us or trying to attack us. But knowing is half the battle. They ain't going to be able to get all of us. Their shenanigans will not work on all of us because some of us are not going to get got. They're not going to get us. One, because you're not going to catch us off guard. Now, I ain't going to say we won't go somewhere and we might accidentally get a cootie up in our nose or in our eye or something, or somebody comes to the house and bring us some cooties. But even with that, if you're wise, you will have what you need already so that you can endure to the end. No weapon against us shall prosper. We are going to be overcomers. We are going to live and not die. We are going to fight the good fight because we going to endure to the end. If you're watching this channel, that's the energy I'm putting out. 2024 is endure to the end, endure to the Exodus. Endure, endure, endure. So let us do what we got to do to endure, and let us learn the devices of our enemies so that we can endure. All right. Like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. In the event that this video is taken down, it will be on Odyssey and Rumble. All of the content on YouTube is backed up on my Odyssey and Rumble channels. So make sure you go there and subscribe. The links are in the description. If you are on Facebook and Instagram, I do not post there regularly, but I am on those platforms. Links are in the description. Should I get banned from this platform, because this is my primary platform, I will contact you through those platforms. Lastly, if you'd like to contribute to the channel, if you find this content helpful, please consider giving a contribution. This is a labor of love. We do not have any sponsors. We don't do any sponsors. I'm not begging you for nothing. I'm not begging you to buy nothing or do nothing. Just watch the video. Please hit like, comment so that it will go forth. The algorithms will take it out and share it amongst others, and share it within your social circles. I know people don't like to talk about this type of stuff, but I mean, it's information that we need to know. Keep prepping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High. Repent daily for sins of commission and sins of omission. Make sure you are keeping the Sabbath. If you don't know about the Sabbath, the right Sabbath, I'll put a link in the description for you so you can learn about it. It's not what you think. Not what we've been told anyway. We've been told a bunch of lies. We got to reprogram our minds on so much stuff. We don't hardly have time trying to navigate living and surviving what's coming, in addition to learning about all the things that we've been taught wrong. It's a lot. It's very overwhelming. So I don't want to make light of it, but you got to do it anyway. Instead of practicing escapism, watching TV, listening to music, playing video games, study to show yourself approved. Study so that you can live and not die. Study so you can endure to the end, because this is an age of knowledge and wisdom. It's all out there. If you don't want it, you won't get it. If you are dead, you're going to stay dead if you don't try to get any knowledge and wisdom. Those who want knowledge and wisdom is out there for them to get. Those who want to remain ignorant and dead, they'll remain ignorant and dead, and it will lead you straight to death. That's what happens. So again, please make sure that you share this um, with those who may need it, especially those who took the solutions the first time and um, regret it. Help our people not be hoodwinked a second time, because this time I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be a lot of casualties. And it's going to be unfortunate, but it's also unnecessary because people are out here warning you and folks are not taking heed. All right, this is Marley K. Y'all take it easy. Read, read, read. I'm putting the links in the description or in the comments. I don't know which one, but check both. But please read this stuff. This is no joke. If you live in America, you need to be reading more than you watching. Period. All right, I'm out.